Yeah. Hi, folks. It is Erwinho again. Today I want to talk to you about eye screen burn-in. That's one, eye screen burn-in. And there's also another thing is called word plus emotions engineering. So forgive me if this seems a little disorganized in terms of the sequence of things explained that you might be used to. Not throwing shade at anybody, I'm just saying, just warning you, this is just how I am. Of course, it's not that simple, there's programming, right? I know that. Alright, so let's go into this part. Eye screen burn-in engineering, what is that? Well, do you walk into the bathroom and then the light is kind of shining in your eyes, and then you go look at your door to check to make sure there's nothing going there, and then you see something, and then you go back to the bathroom, and then you go back to your door and you see something different? Well, okay, this is not always the reason, but I like to still run checks because I don't want to get desensitized either. So yeah, if that's a bitch to deal with, well, that's how it is. But yeah, I can bear it and get through it just fine. At least I know that I'm not going to let myself get desensitized so easily. Alright, so what could happen with this is you can do this in movie theaters, or places. And let's say they have some lighting, like they have different colored lights. They could possibly have different flicker rates too, and they could even have a controller to briefly make them flicker at a different rate and then put them back. You know how I heard in movie theaters, so they would flash a thing on the screen really fast, then it goes right into people's subconscious minds and they want to go buy it. Alright, so hopefully I'm staying on track here. Try to do it one take if I can. Don't let your pride get in the way, boy. But anyway. So here are some factors with this burn-in business. One, it depends on your position from where you're looking at, like your angle. Depends on how well you can see. If you're wearing like certain contacts or glasses. The blink rate of your eyes, like what you feel like blinking at. All sorts of things with your eyes. I could go on and on trying to remember it all, but no thanks. You get what I'm saying. Alright. So things happen. The other thing is that people can be programmed to look at things. I'll give you an example. You're at a convention. Everybody's sitting down watching a big screen. There's anime of an attractive anime girl, and some folks are programmed to keep their eyes on her eyes. Some are programmed to keep their eyes down, you know where, and then there's people who fluctuate somewhere in the middle. Yeah, that's pretty easy for you to say, but that's just the way it is. You get what I'm saying. And remember the stuff I told you before. Alright. So what you could do is that with that kind of engineering, if you wanted to, and like you knew how like certain people would react, you can make people think they see certain things, or make them see things because they also, depending on the brightness, and that can be affected by what you're wearing or not wearing and other factors, it can affect how long that's going to burn into your eye. And when you see a different image and then you combine it with what's burned in, you can induce a certain image. Alright? Alright. So you could potentially, with that kind of engineering, make it so people think they're seeing shadows. If people think they're seeing shadows, they could be programmed through emotional and picture and visual engineering, and then there's also emotional and word engineering too. That could be they're programmed to think a dark shadow is a bad thing. Now, I don't want you to like be desensitized to that, because I play a game called Splinter Cell, and you do want to pay attention to shadows, because that could be Sam Fisher sneaking up on you, right? But that's what I would usually think anyway if I thought, okay, this is too much of a shadow and it's not adding up, so it probably is somebody like Sam Fisher, not some demon like they would get you to believe. Like you probably get programmed to believe and think, oh shit, where did that come from? Oh my god, the devil's following me. And this is one of the things where visual plus emotional, you can put all three together too, and many more things together at once if you like. Visual plus word plus emotion engineering. So depending on how the person is. And here's the thing too, if you're emotional mind, it's its job for everything to feel real. That includes it's going to shoot those emotions through your fucking nervous system. So of course it's going to feel real. And your subconscious mind is not going to be able to tell the difference, nor is your physical body that your emotional mind is going to shoot the emotions through. It's not going to be able to tell between what is real and what is imagined. So, yeah, that's a bitch, isn't it? Yeah, alright. So, you could be programmed to think, oh no, shadow, devil. And I'll get into the word engineering too. So, yeah, you have these things hooked up together in your mind. Let's say you're one of those people who are programmed that way. I'm not really. It's a good thing I listen to music on shuffle, because then you don't exactly know where I am in terms of program and dominant programming, right? So that's one way to move out of this matrix, if you like, to go on your own journey. And doing shuffle is just, life really is a shuffle in itself anyway. It's just that when I say shuffle, I mean what they call shuffling, which can be considered a sub-shuffle within your life. That is a shuffle. But anyway, all right. I'll try to get back on this. La. So if you're programmed to have an emotional response to a certain word, that could also trigger a picture in your mind, which can be reinforced depending on how you are, and the other way around, Alright, so let's say you are programmed to be sensitive like that to that. And let's say at the service that they're giving, where the guy's talking and people are sitting down listening, even if he's not saying like Satan or God in the certain emotions, you could still have like the programming and the stuff popping up in your mind. And you can being programmed within the mind, because you can imagine things and create scenarios in your mind, and you can attach whatever emotion you want. I have a family in a tall building. I'm up on the highest floor. Not really, but you can do that, fuse them together if you like. Anyway, so he could be saying words, and then you could be emotionally programmed from, say, like television or whatever. Or it could happen the other way around. Alright, Erwin, we get it. So you get done listening to the thing. You walk away. Maybe you go to the bathroom, and then you see shadows, and then all that stuff starts triggering, and then you think, oh my god, the devil wants my soul. Or, oh yeah, hi God. How are you? Thank you. Alright. Now when I say God and devil, I'm talking about their notion of it. I'm not talking about a notion that I believe in, with God meaning the universe being in it, and it just is. And when I think of devil, I don't think of the Christian notion. I more so nowadays associate that with the Levian meaning of that. Satan being adversary. So, alright. So here we go. Now you're all wired up. You're like a house. Now you're like a house that's wired up to do this and do that when this and that happens. So now you think the devil's following you. And they got you all locked in this loop here. And then it just grows and grows and grows. And they profit in more ways than one that you probably, a lot of people would think. I mean, hey, I used to be one of those people. I'm not gonna lie. I accept it. So, yo. Alright. I don't know if I covered what I need to do. You could probably put... No, of course you can. I'm so in the habit of saying you probably, so forgive me for that. But anyway, now I'm going to talk about the engineering in the words themselves, the linguistics. Alright. So there's the... I'll give you one. I'll give you a fine piece right here. Jesus. Now that is a fine piece of frequency engineering. I'll give you that. I'll tell you why. Because the E and could be consistent. You know, you could always tone it out in 528 hertz or 440 hertz. What give you? But the J and the S and the S, like you heard the way I fluctuated that, right? Yeah. So what if people are programmed to really fluctuate that? And you have this emotional fluctuation, and they say that name's got power. Well, in that sense, yes. I know Alan Watts says you can't get word by the word water, and that is true. But the one thing you can get wed by is the frequency engineering of that word that they make you say, and they also say to you. And just by thinking about it, and also remember I told you in the be careful watching TV and compressed time states. Like they could say in a certain tempo, and your brain will get that, and that's going to have a different frequency depending on the tempo, because of the beats. So, you know, and also like the flicker rate of the lights or your monitor. Alright, so you can have that kind of engineering mixed in with that too. So yeah, you got the J and the S and the S, right? And so that can fluctuate, that can hit you physically, and then it can also, you know, have an emotional impact on you, even just by thinking about it. And it's your emotional mind's job for everything and that to feel real. And you can be taught to regard this and that just because you're feeling it to be intangible reality, quote unquote, real. So that's one way they can really screw you. Yeah. Same thing with God. The J and D. You can go all you want. But if you're fluctuating the J and D, there's that. And then there's devil and Satan. I'm going to tell you how they probably turn that against you. So dev is for development. And a lot of people would be very scared to really develop themselves into their more truer nature and potential. There's vil, which, you know, the ill part, you can say falling ill or fill the cup. So you could say, oh, I'm feeling ill, I don't want to fill the cup, right? And then there's Satan. I'm going to tell you how they turn that around in you too. Say what, right? They say, and then you say what, right? We're going to say something. Then there's 10. What's 10 in that? And their thing, 10 Commandments. Say the 10 Commandments, right? All right. So I'm gonna get off of here now. This is Erwin Yo, also known as Sam Lambert. Real first name is Jesse. You guys take care. And goodbye. Bye. Alright, we recording still? Okay, I'm sorry, I forgot one more thing. Sorry for the false alarm, but hey, you might have gotten some positive entertainment value out of that today. Well, oh yeah, just call it entertainment. It's not like there's something behind it, right? Oh yeah, people don't have a subconscious mind. And it's like if they don't, then there's somebody else writing their shit for them. I don't know. Try not to delve into that too much right now. The other thing I forgot to bring up is the fact that you can also have emotions floating around in the collective consciousness, what I like to call magnetic soldiers. What that means is you have the electro, which could be measured in terms of like how warm it is, or so warm electro, and then there's a magnetic, which is the frequency, how it feels, like it could be sad or happy or what give you. So you can also do some engineering with that. One way is that, people do what they do, people put out whatever emotion they have, and it floats around, and depending on like how many people brush through, how the air is being circulated, the weather, the temperature, etc., you can have lots of beautiful fluctuations. Hey, look at that. The illusion of contagion. Alright, let's try not to get banged. Yeah, and, water vapor too. Oh yeah, that's another thing. How much water did you drink today? How much soda with, what in it have you drunk today? And the deterioration of the can and how that could be influenced by different factors too, so you could end up with a can like Russian roulette. You know what I mean? Alright, so now, another way could be EMFs as another medium, or lights too. But we're gonna go with EMFs also being another medium, and you can go to my other video about a wavelength dominance shifting, wave writing and amplitude fluctuation. You can go to that and listen to how that works. And then there's just also, I'm sorry, I'm trying to think. Yeah. Hello, Mr. Lawyer. How was your coffee today? I know what it is. You know how you shape your mouth a certain way, and as long as you hold it that way, you can blow as hard or soft as you want, and you can retain 528 hertz, but you can do it at different loudnesses, like loud or soft, but as long as you keep the shape, you have that same thing, right? Well, what if they have physical objects in that place that are shaped a certain way, and they place it in certain locations, and they might be very well knowledgeable about the variables that take place, and then stuff blows through that and it emits that frequency, and then that frequency hits you, and then you could be primed up in your brain to have certain words and emotions come up. And the other thing, the thing that determines what is going to be the thing that pops up in your mind is called, what I call the relevancy filter, also known as Mr. Speedrunner, with everything physically and RNG digitally perfect. So there's no RNG, random number generator elements, or physical wear or tear on the controller that's unaccounted for. Let's say everything is perfect. So you'd be thinking, okay, well, if his mental... your intellect... This doesn't really have anything to do with the function of your intellect. It's just what becomes the most relevant, which makes it which is the factor in making your decision. The thing is with the relevancy filter is that there are so many variables that go into determining what becomes the king. Sometimes, because of all these different variables, something else could finally become the most relevant, and then you lose your perfect streak. So what that means is that depending on how you've been engineered, it could, more often than not, depending on the programming, you could have this word and this word pop up in your mind, that you feel this emotion, and then that leads you to thinking that word that's hooked up to it, and whatever word comes, it depends on the relevancy filter and the frequency and where you feel it on your body as well, and how many places, because you could see like a certain picture and hear a certain song at the same time. You could place where you had that simultaneous thing, right? You can do that. So depending on all those variables, you can have different words pop up in your head, and you probably don't understand where they're coming from, but I'm telling you where they're coming from. And because of the way it pops up, like from the subconscious mind to the conscious mind, because I have ideas popping up to my, like, for example, the Big Daddy Super Boo thing, I don't know where that came from. It was probably something cooking up in my subconscious mind, and then emotion after emotion and this and that led to that. And then, I'm sorry, long video, but I gotta get into it though. So you get that mix, and then your conscious mind like picks up only like a certain bandwidth, you could say, of that, and then it'll feel like it came out of nowhere, or it came from some force. What's that force that they make some people believe in, right? Exactly. All right. Keep breathing good, guys. Now I should be done for real for this video. Goodbye.